What's up, gamers? Today we have the update for the Bloody Ninja build with the 2 bar PvE solo version and the 1 bar PvP version that we wrapped up on stream yesterday. Both of them and the respective content lanes were total monsters. With the 2 bar PvE version, it's literally hard to die if you're pressing your buttons while also having very good damage output. It felt like a cheat code in veteran arenas. The 1 bar PvP version was really solid for BGs. If you were in the last few streams, you know what I mean. The results while being in lobbies with some sweats were honestly kind of unexpected. I genuinely was able to carry some games with 1 bar with some very good players on the enemy team and obviously very meta 2 bar setups. The build just brings a lot of overall weight to a BG. It's not a juggernaut like the Warden perfected with the Bladeslinger setup. It just dishes out a ton of team damage, is very slippery, and it's kind of a pain to deal with and chase down. But it's not an easy one to play. The contingency dodge roll thing isn't for everybody, but we'll talk about it. This one is going to be mainly for BGs. You can probably have some fun in Overworld, but it needs to be in a group. I didn't playtest it there, and I don't really recommend it either. Also, it makes a pretty terrible 2 bar setup. It just doesn't have the tools with the gear, and then the cost of abilities without proper sustain is just over the top, and it was totally miserable. It was one of the worst 2 bar experiences I've had in a very long time, honestly. 0 of 10, do not recommend, and my bad if you're on my team when testing it out. I just completely embarrassingly fed endlessly with 0 sustain the entire time, but the 1 bar version, so good. This won't be a full guide, just a fast update. If this is new for you, check out this video here. I'll link for you in the description. That explains the meat and potatoes of the build and how to play it. This also won't be on the website to avoid overall confusion, but I'll make sure to give you good visuals here you can screenshot for the different setups. Let's go. With the 2 bar PvE solo setup, we changed gear around a little bit with a heavy reinforced Savaris chest for tankiness, which by the way, you'll use this same piece for PvP as well. And then the Ice Heart monster set in light and medium. Ice Heart is one of my favorite monster sets in the game for solo content and will help trivialize so many encounters. TLDR, you get constant shielding and it pumps out AoE damage. The AoE damage it does is very significant, as you can see here on the AoE dummy test log, being our number 2 source of damage when the shield holds. We're going to double bar dual wield as well. It fits the ninja vibe, plus it fits the setup perfectly. I changed this a little bit from the stream if you have those screenshots from yesterday. I changed these traits to infused with the weapon damage glyph and then a flex spot. I just threw on hardening for even more RNG shielding while in the back bar. Really though, anything works here, it's going to be very minimal either way. CP is the same. Quick note, if you have no sustain issues, you can drop Bloody Renewal for Bastion, which will juice your Ice Heart shields, which will allow it to hold longer and do more damage, along with the hardening chant if you choose to use that. Last, we changed our potions to weapon power potions, which is nice because they're super cheap for a stack. It was like 10k for 200 on PCNA if I remember right. Abilities are here for you as well. I'll break down the changes super fast. So originally I had a much more try-hard setup on the bars, but it was just too many buttons to press for no reason. The damage with the core skills are already too good, so I dialed it back a bit and it got so much better. I was just playing timer whack-a-mole for no reason with overall less output. Things just die too fast. The only change here on the front bar is this spot here. I just threw on Ring of Preservation for a passive ability to have more weapon damage from the Fighter's Guild passive Slayer, which will increase all of your damage and healing. And then if you have a big emergency, it doubles as a heal. But I had to use it exactly 0 times. It's purely passive. On the back bar, we shift siphoning back here. Same thing applies here. You can use this as needed for mag or stam return. If you have so much heals pouring in all the time, you don't even notice the health cost. It immediately gets recovered. Vigor for a heal and minor resolve buff. Dark Shade, which is also a very good AoE damage addition like Ice Heart, as you can see here, roughly in line with the other heavy hitters in the setup. It also applies minor maim, reducing enemies damage, which is helpful. Something to be aware of, this ability also gives us our major resolve buff, which is a very significant defensive buff from the Nightblade passive Shadow Barrier. And this buff lasts for 14 seconds on this setup, but your shade lasts for 22 seconds. So there's a little gap with no resolve if you don't refresh this early. But I'll be honest with you, not one time was this even on my radar. I never intentionally refreshed it early. The build is just too tanky already. But I wanted you to be aware of it. If you're soloing something where you're getting hit very hard, you may want to refresh this every 14 seconds to keep the buff up. But for all the solo content that's intended to be solo, this isn't an issue at all. A very good addition with the dual wield skill quick cloak. This fits the ninja theme perfect. We get a cloak of protective razors around a body that gives us an extremely good buff for solo content of major evasion, which reduces AoE damage by 20%, which is a ton of the damage you take in solo content. Think of the final boss of veteran Vateshran. Now think of all the tons of things on the ground that you're dancing around and avoiding. All of that is reduced by 20%. It's big. But also, and potentially more importantly, we now get major expedition, giving us a sprint for very fast move speed, also fitting the ninja theme perfect. Then our breach for major caltrops, another source of AoE damage, slows enemies to help contain them, applies AoE major breach, and it's caltrops. Doesn't get more ninja than that. If you don't have this unlocked, you can also just use the class breach of Mark for bosses. The back bar ulti here is just a passive ability ability. Soul Tether will give you a bit more healing back here passively from the Nightblade passive Soul Siphoner. You can also run the Psijic ulti for minor protection while back here. You can even try hard it with Dawnbreaker on the front bar to passively steroid your damage with more Slayer, then use Thrive from the back bar. You can even have End Cap on the front bar for single target fights and then Thrive back here for everything else. It's very flexible. Do what makes you happy here. Just make sure you're using Thrive as your main ulti. Not a lot going back here, honestly. You just keep Shade and Cloak up, drop Caltrips on packs, and use Vigor and Siphoning as needed. A note on Vigor, it's also our minor resolve buff. So it may be a good idea for you to use it at least once every 20 seconds, especially with the gap in major resolve if you aren't refreshing Shade early. Front bar plays exactly the same as the One Bar version. Okay, the PvP version, the nastiness. Some changes to the gear config from the original version. We're using a heavy reinforced chest, everything else in medium and well fitted. Try and chance on all the gear, Nern and Sharpen traits, and Stamina Escapist poisons. I have a link to the poison recipe in the description for you as well. Serpent Mundus, Bear Haunch Food, and Tripods. Here are your skills, and this is your one scribing skill setup. Fan, Bloodthirst, Resolve, and Thrive are all used in the exact same way as the original version. Healing Contingency, you've seen this 1,000 times on the channel now. I won't go over all of it again, but if this is new for you, this is in my opinion one of, if not the best multi-class one bar defensive abilities in the game when used in the way that I do. There's much more to it than what the tooltip is showing you. I have a short guide here for you that I'll link in the description that teaches you how to use it in the way that I do. Pay attention to the dodge roll section and combining it with another ability section. We use both of those constantly in PvP on this setup. If you get good at dodge roll weaving this, you will be incredibly hard to lock down and kill. Well fitted and dodge roll with contingency is your main defensive source and strength because we virtually have nothing in the way of gear helping us, nor CP. You can't just face tank damage all day. But combining iframes with burst heals and a heal over time, you can just kite people all over the place, especially when running around and through your own team, which you will also be burst healing all of them as well, along with providing them with the heal over time. So a really great team utility ability as well. I've had games in the past where I had the most heals in the entire BG in a one bar setup, with this being the only heal on my bar, just passively healing my own team with this in the flow of my own combat. It can be very significant. Most of my games as well here were with very little deaths while constantly being in the thick of it. So it does work, it just takes practice. You don't need more than this and your passive siphon heal for when you have dots out. The dodge roll aspect is a technique you need to work on if you want to get good at it. It's not super intuitive. Again, check this video for an explanation if interested. Another Nightblade trick that I use constantly is you can couple contingency with another ability. So prep it, then proc it on your next cast. Contingency cost magicka, siphon cost health. When you prep contingency and then use siphon, the mag cost of contingency is almost fully recovered from siphon, and the health cost of siphon is recovered from contingency, and you end up with a net gain in stamina, as siphon also restores stam. So this is very useful if you get around a corner and super low in stam, or just after cleaning up a kill and recovering to quickly top off your stam, or just give you that little bump you need in the moment. Regarding damage output, I was also the #1 damage dealer in most of the games I played, or right there with them, and 2 days of streams. And that's a testament to the build, not myself. Anyone can do it. It's a very strong setup when played properly, but it requires a very slippery play style. This one is a little quirky, so I'm going to leave you with some gameplay as well so you can see it in action. And that wraps up today's update, gamers. If you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Oh, I'm doing it. Oh, threaded the needle. Can we live though? Can we live though? Woo! Oh my god! Oh my god! It almost looked like I bombed him for a second. Broken Soul and one bar builds are trash and have no place in PvP. I'll be right back, I gotta pee.